AIW for leaving a former colleague stranded in a random highway stop. I'm writing this as I still feel somewhat incredulous from an encounter that I had with a former colleague yesterday. I took my family, consisting of my middle-aged parents and my younger brother, on a hiking trip to Bear Mountain. This happened at a random highway station, I think in Jersey, for a bathroom break. Let me back up. I had a young colleague, let's call him Carl, at a company I used to work at until about 6 years ago. He didn't own a car back then, so I used to give him rides to the subway station after work. We worked in an industrial area in LIC, and that particular area can get quite rough once the sun goes down. At any rate, I had a cordial relationship with the guy, but as the saying goes, I didn't know him like that. And I'm sure that was also the case the other way around. As such, we naturally lost contact with each other as soon as I left that company. Fast forward to yesterday at the highway station in question. As we were coming back out, someone hollered at me from behind. It was Carl. I mean, what are the chances? I told the rest of my family that I'd join them momentarily in the car and approached him for a little chat. After a few exchanges, he not so casually mentions that his car won't start back up in the parking lot, essentially leaving him stranded in the middle of nowhere. I mean, there are literally hundreds of people there at any given moment, not to mention an auto shop right by the gas station outside. I asked if he asked someone in the auto shop to take a look, to which he ignores, and instead goes on about how the universe has sent me to help him out in a pickle. I made a Jim face and asked him how I could help. He asked me if I could give him a ride into the nearest town in the opposite direction. I quite didn't understand why he'd want to leave his car behind just to get to the nearest town. But I didn't like where this was going, so I went into my flight mode. So I told him that I would under normal circumstance, and he should know this given our history, but I just didn't have room in the car. This was true as my parents had piled all of our hiking gear and day bags in the middle of the back seat as my trunk was full. Plus, we were a bit behind on our schedule. I asked him if he couldn't take an Uber. He said he did look it up, but that it'd be too expensive. Then he goes on a sob story about how money was tight for him. Yeah, you and me both. Suddenly it dawned on me that he might be trying to pull a variant of that gas money scam on me. I immediately checked out from the conversation, wished him luck, and started to walk back towards my car. He followed, regurgitating the same spiel that I'm sure he spouted to dozens before me that day. When we reached my car, Carl saw that there was indeed no room left for him in the car, or anyone else for that matter. Instead of giving up, he asked if my family was willing to wait for me in the station while I shuttled him to town. I looked at him as if he were insane and told him as much. I opened my door to get in, and I guess in a last-ditch effort, a terrible one if I might add, he demanded that I ask my parents. Bitch, what are you trying to say? We're both full-grown-ass men here. I slammed my door shut and gave him a piece of my mind along with an ultimatum to get away from my car, but not as so nicely as I've worded here. He called me a bunch of things as he walked away. Names, heartless, and even that, I was trying to get him down at his worst, along with many others. Fair enough, I said some not-so-nice words to him first. I took a minute after getting in the car to collect myself. I didn't need to explain myself as my family heard everything in the car. I got over it, ended up having a nice family outing at the end of the day. But here I am second-guessing myself the next day in the case that Carl did really just need a ride. But I am fairly certain that he was angling for money. But even then, I mean, what's a few bucks? I don't know. Am I wrong here, guys?